The angry king and his maid. They whispered in the palace that the king's anger was like fire. Whoever came too close risked being burned. His servants trembled at the sound of his footsteps. His counselors spoke only in short sentences, fearful of saying the wrong word. Yet in the heart of the palace lived a maid named Abena, quiet and overlooked, whose courage would one day change the fate of a kingdom. The king was known across lands for his wealth, power, and victories in war. But at home, he was known for his temper. Every mistake, no matter how small, was met with shouting, slamming of fists, and punishments that left his palace living in fear. Food was served cold. The cook trembled. A scroll misplaced. The scribe lost sleep for weeks. His anger was a storm that never passed. Abena, the maid, had entered the palace with nothing. Her parents were poor farmers, and she came seeking work just to send coins home. She kept her head low, carried water, cleaned floors, and tried not to be noticed. But one fateful evening, when the king threw his goblet across the hall because the wine was not sweet enough, it was Abena who picked it up. Her hands shook, but her eyes met his just for a second, and in that moment, something shifted. The king had never been looked at like that. Not with fear, not with flattery, but with something closer to pity. A maid dared to see the man behind the crown. His fury roared at her. "Do you mock me, girl?" he shouted. Yet she did not speak. She bowed her head, set the goblet on the table, and left quietly. That night, he could not sleep. The eyes of a lowly maid haunted him. For the first time, he began to wonder, was he feared more than he was respected? Days turned into weeks. Whenever Abena appeared, sweeping corners or carrying trays, the king's voice faltered. His anger did not vanish, but she had a strange effect on him. She did not cower as the others did, nor did she flatter him. Her silence was steady, her presence unshaken. One afternoon, when the king raged because a treaty had fallen through, he stormed into the gardens to be alone. There he found Abena watering the roses. He barked at her, "Do you not tremble when I enter?" She looked up and replied softly, "A king should be the tree that gives shade, not the fire that burns his own house." Those words cut deeper than any sword. The king stared, his pride wounded, but something in his heart cracked open. For the first time, someone had spoken truth to him without fear. His anger did not vanish overnight. There were still storms, still shouts, still broken cups. But slowly, the storms grew shorter, and the palace noticed a change. The cook could breathe. The scribes could write. The guards could laugh in the courtyard again. The king had found in the maid not just a servant, but a mirror. She reminded him of the leader he wished he had been all along. And though she never sought riches or titles, he raised her to be his counselor, the one voice in his palace that would never be silenced by fear. In the end, the story of the angry king and his maid became a lesson whispered across kingdoms. That even the strongest ruler is powerless without self-control. That truth spoken with courage can tame even the wildest heart. And that sometimes, it is the humblest voices that bring peace to a throne drowning in fury. Subscribe for more videos. See you in the next video.